Another day, another project. We have the bow fishing boat. As you see, it is pulled apart. When I bought this boat, it had rats in it, and that was a big issue. I did an episode on that. Well, I got that problem fixed. I fixed all the damage, and it sat up for the winter while we were gone and while we were gone in Australia. And when I got home, I investigated, and I discovered, because I went out on the water and there was a big leak, I almost sank it, rats had got back in the boat. We have holes in different lines and whatever, so I've just decided that rats are going to be a problem. We live on the river, it's going to be a problem, we got to fight it. So this is what I'm doing for now. I've got several of these in the boat. They're dog proof. Should kill the rats and keep them out of my dang boat. But now we have to fix the problems that the rats have created. So let me show you what we're working on here. Do you see, it's hard to see, but all the bits of foam where the little dirty rats have chewed upon it. And then I've cut this, but they've chewed the intake and the outtake for the live wells, and then also for the bilge pump, that line. So basically water's just flowing in freely, and that's a problem. So the problem is, to be able to get to these to fix them, the fuel tank has to come out. So I've popped the rivets and I've got the cover removed. Now I just have to remove the fuel tank, then fix the hoses and see if that fixes the problem. I've just bought some of these connectors, and then I bought some new line. So hopefully that is as simple of a fix it is. The next problem, the lights were stolen off this boat. So as you can see, we'll be bow fishing in the dark. And I had an epiphany today. I was looking at bow fishing lights, and then I decided they're all made in China, every one of them. So instead of ordering bow fishing lights that are marketed to bow fishermen and they're charging $200 per light, let's just buy some Amazon junk. So I figured they're made in the same place, I don't know. So I bought 4 of the Amazon lights. They're like $20 a piece, and we're just gonna see how they perform. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're gonna test it and we're gonna find out, and if they work, I'm gonna buy 4 more. So soon we're gonna have lights, we're gonna have no rats, and we're gonna go out bow fishing. But for now, I gotta get to work. Oh man, on my last tracker, removing the fuel tank was relatively easy, and I'm thinking that this is just a different construction and it's gonna be a complete nightmare. The problem is, I can't hardly get to these lines down here unless I had a little person that could crawl down in there. And I don't know if my fat arms and hands are gonna do it, because I gotta reach that way down yonder. I think what I may do, hear me out, I may take this boat down to Red Ray Welding and Machine and just have him weld those ports, because I don't use the live well anyway. And then I can take the live well and turn it into dry storage. Not the worst idea that I've had today. I think we're gonna do that. That makes sense. I think we should do that, because if water can't come in, then it don't matter. Rats can't chew welding and metal. They can only chew these stupid hoses. They're dumb. All right, we're back with Red Ray's Welding and Machining. We got another project, Red. This one's pretty simple.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot better on this than we did the last.
So we got your plug, you got your intake and your outtake for the live well. It will never leak ever again. I don't need a live well anyway.
Got a piece right here. I believe it's 1.125", but I know it's bigger than that hole right there, so I'm gonna put it on the lathe, cut a little shoulder where we can stick it down there. Then all we have to do is weld it up, and I don't have to worry about trying to pull. It'll pull any of the trash from the inside.
They done got on the lathe and created us a little plug. Chew that, rats.
That way that thing will stick up in there. You ain't got to try to worry about holding it. gives you good edge to weld. You don't have to worry about pulling trash from up inside that hull and stuff. So we get these and get all this cleaned up, 'cause that's just straight absorbable alcohol. I guess that's the way you say that.
It is now.
It is. I see it. Ought to be a little easier to weld than what we had to fool with on that pontoon the other day.
We could have just put a PVC cap on this thing. We could have done a lot of things that were easier than what you did. What can you say in your experience towards doing things the right way?
Well, ain't no need in spending any time doing something then turn around later having to go back and do it again. That don't make no sense at all right there. Anything mechanical, if it's in the ground or in the water, it's gonna leak sooner or later. It's gonna sit there and deteriorate through sunlight, through drying out, and just everything else. But when you weld that rascal back in there, she ain't coming apart then. You know, it ain't the down there and it ain't the up there. It's the getting from the down there to the up there that's the problem for me as old as I done got.
Well, that's one more thing off the to-do list. Y'all look up Red Ray Welding and Machining. He saved me a couple times already, and we got some more projects to work on. But for now, my next project, get these lights working, go test it out. So on to the next one. All right, this boat has a 36-volt trolling motor, so I have the crank battery over there, but here I have the batteries for the trolling motor, 12 volt, 12 volt, 12 volt equals 36. So they have to be run in series. So to do that, very simple. I have all the leads facing the same direction. I put the power on battery number 1 positive, and I put the negative on battery number 3 negative. And then I run a jumper from negative to positive, and that is a 36 volt system. Pretty simple. I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna turn everything on, see if the lights work, and determine what all the rats have chewed. Hopefully they just work, because there's already been a lot of things that don't work, and that's frustrating. So I found one rat chew on a wire. I fixed that, spliced them together, wrapped it in electric tape. I put 3 batteries for the trolling motor in series. They are charged, ready to go. The trolling motor is working, confirmed. I got the crank battery going, the engine's running, check. Then I went and I grabbed my little generator. It's just a little 2,000 watt vermin, and I can't get that thing to start. It's been setting up for a while, so I'll probably tinker with it later and or take it to a small engine mechanic. But I went and grabbed the big generator, which I'm probably gonna wind up using anyway. This is the Onan 4500. It's a beast. And to my surprise, the battery on it's still good, so fingers crossed that it starts. Everything else has been wrong, so we'll see. Well, it ran, but it said overload, which it definitely shouldn't because nothing's hooked to it. So let's make sure these are tripped. I fiddled with it for a minute, and what I figured out, there's a big red button that says reset. So I started it and I held that down for like 10 seconds and it reset itself. So I don't know why it overloaded, but we're about to plug the lights in and see if they work. Fingers crossed on that one. Working. Better knock on some wood. Check the other lights. By golly. Motor works, boat doesn't leak, generator work, lights work. I got new lights on the way. I think we can go fishing soon. Great day. I'm gonna compare this. This is the Amazon cheapie, 20 bucks, and these are the $200 ones that are Sea Light. Huh. Okay, not gonna lie, these are pretty rinky-dink, and I have a feeling that we're gonna wind up spending more money on good lights, but we're still gonna test them. And at the end of the day, they're better than what I had to use in high school. Back then, I was taking a piece of plywood and ratchet strapping it on top of my John boat, and then I had two halogen lights that were like real big floodlights that, you know, they have to warm up. I had those, and I had them run through an inverter to a battery, and I was super proud of that back then. So this is much better than that, but it may not be good enough. We're gonna test them and find out. I'm glad I didn't order all 8, and I'm glad it was only like $45. Now what will be good to see is if they even turn on, because as much rat infestation as we've had, I'm worried that there's different wires chewed. So lights. Are they on? They are on. So at least we have that. We'll see how they work at night. So that's the 4 little guys, and we're missing a couple, and that's the big ones. And we're missing 2. So I don't know. We'll take it out tonight, see what it looks like, and then worst case, I'm gonna order more of these, I guess. Hurting my bank account though. Might have to sell some stuff. Well, it's the Maiden Voyage. Since seeing red and getting it welded up, and we put the lights on it, not those. I had 4 more that were supposed to come, they hadn't come yet, so we're gonna test these 4 and see if they are in fact bright enough. I have my doubts, but we're gonna see. And I brought my buddy Cole.
I brought my bows.
You've never bow fished before, have you?
Many times.
Really?
No.
Okay, well, this is gonna be an adventure. Hopefully we just don't sink the boat. That would be a good start. I haven't nicknamed this boat yet, but I feel like it needs one.
Karen.
Karen might be a good name for it, actually. All right, let's go. I should have pushed off. It's a good sign when everything's working right off the bat. So these are the cheap lights. These were $20 off Amazon. These were $200. I can't tell the difference. I mean, we need more of them, but I really can't tell the difference in that and that. So anyway, we're gonna try to shoot a fish now. Well, it's a school night, so it's only 12:30. No fish were harmed in the making of this video. The water out there is like chocolate milk, and my shooters were terrible. Couldn't hit anything. But the boat floated, it worked perfectly. The rat damage is no more, and the lights, $20 lights, work just as good as $200 lights. I'm sure there's something to be said for the buy once, cry once. Maybe they won't last as long, but they work just fine. So we just saved some money. I'm glad about that. And yeah, now we got to figure out where to use the boat. So drop in the comments where you think we should go. We're in Mississippi, so right now I'm thinking like maybe the coast to shoot flounder, or maybe towards the Mississippi River to shoot big heads and the silvers. Or maybe we go up to Nashville and go on the lake and shoot buffalo. I don't know. Drop it in the comments to let us know what you want to see us do. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support. Drop us a comment, like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.